What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Alex Cuesta Show. How's everybody doing out there on this Wednesday, July 26, 2024 for episode number 130? Dave, hi. How are you?
Hello. I am doing pretty well. How about you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well as always. Now, tonight is debate night. First presidential debate of the 2024 election cycle. We're going to talk a little bit about that. It's actually going on now as we speak, but we'll get into that a little more before we get into all the fun stuff. If you are watching on YouTube, if you are watching on X, if you're watching, we're not live on X. How did that happen?
That's nice.
What's going on here? Let's look here. The hell? Oh, it says streaming, so okay. Hi, everyone on X. I guess it was wrong, but hi, everybody. So if you're watching on X, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching, we appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a subscription. Tell everybody that you are watching and tell them to go watch. If you're watching on Facebook, hello. We appreciate you watching. Go give us a follow over there. And if you are watching on X, give us a shout out there and everything, and retweet, repost, whatever it is. We appreciate everybody for watching. We're going to have a good show tonight, as we always do. Last week, we had a fun show. We had Danny and Giuliano D, conservative thinkers and streamers, on the show. And Dave, we just got to shooting the shit about a whole bunch of things conservative. We talked about Just Stop Oil. We talked about immigration. We talked about Louisiana throwing the 10 Commandments in the classroom. We covered a whole lot of bases. It was a really good time. I recommend everybody go back and give that a watch, give that a listen, because it was lots of fun. Before we get started with all of our good stuff, I want to give a shout out. I'm going to start doing something new, something fun, where we kind of talk about our friends, people that are still friends of the show, give them shout outs. Our buddy, Keith Malinak, he is a producer over at The Blaze, the Pack Ray Unleashed show, and he also has his own show here, At the Mic with Keith, and you see the tagline, everybody has a story. If you want to go and watch his live streams, Thursday 2 p.m.s, at Thursdays at 2 p.m., he does an At the Mic deep dive. He has guests on. They go into some of the deeper topics and get into some fun stuff. And then on Fridays, also at 2 p.m., he has a more lighthearted live stream where he talks with guests. They just hang out. They just chat. David was on a previous show. February 9th, he was over there with Tim Ruth, and I will be on there on July 26th, and I will be
Tim
on.
Young, not Tim Ruth. Where'd that come from?
Tim Young. Jesus, not Tim.
Yeah, Tim Young.
Sorry, Tim Young, and I will be on with Steve Baker, journalist for The Blaze, and also being prosecuted by the DOJ for being a journalist. So it's going to be a good time. But everybody go out there, go support Keith, click subscribe. David's already subscribed, but that's what I would like you to do. Go over there and click subscribe. And if you want to as well, you can go to the link right there, At the Mic, youtube.com/At the Mic. So definitely go, give a shout out, give some love to Keith over there. So this week, we have no guest. We were supposed to have someone on. Things hit the fan. That's why we are here on Thursday. I said Wednesday. Thursday. It's Thursday, July 27th. This is all fucked up tonight, Dave. This is not going well.
All right.
So far. This is
through. Power through.
We will persevere, damn it. But no guest tonight. That just means that David and I get to have lots of fun. We get to talk about a whole bunch of different things, and we do. And we're going to start off right away. We have the first presidential debate tonight, like I said. Obviously, it's Trump versus Biden. And I want to first talk, Dave. RFK Jr. fans are bitching, as always, that he's not on there. Now, in his defense, they have made the rules really stupid. I think if it comes to polling, he might have a chance, but they made the polls, like they always rig it so that outside of Ross Perot, and I think the leftists don't do it because Ross Perot didn't help. But I mean, they will try to make it so that they can't get in. And there was a bunch of rules, right, Dave, that they implemented. Is that what you have pulled up over here, the rules?
Well, yeah, for the debate itself, yes.
Yep, for the debate itself. So here are what the rules are going to be for the debate tonight. So let's see. So it's an early
runs 90 minutes.
Runs 90 minutes. It starts at 9. So it's going on right now. Dave is monitoring it over there. If anything big happens, Dave will jump.
Yeah, if I look very out of it, it's because I'm watching the debate.
He's watching it. And then, Dave, you can also find some if you see anything, go search X for some clips. We get those clips up and things like that.
Yeah.
The reason why we're not covering the debate is because CNN is being really fucking gay about what they're allowing people to do. Now, they are allowing all the major networks to simulcast this, which is weird, I think. But all the major networks. So if you hate CNN, if you're more of an MSNBC guy, a Fox News guy, you can go watch it there. They're allowing them to simulcast. What they're not doing is they are making sure that YouTube can't get in. It's specifically YouTube, because they're saying, hey, if you have a Rumble, if you have a Locals, if you have some sort of paid subscription, cool. Maybe not even Rumble, but if you have like
Rumble's actually down right now, which is funny.
If you have Locals or something like a paid subscription, your own website, you could simulcast there. Cool. They're specifically going after YouTube, which I find to be bizarre. And I wonder, they're going to sit there and they're going to cease and desist everyone that does live commentary. So while we are a relatively small stream, I'd rather not get a strike if I can avoid it. We like streaming weekly, and we'd rather not have to skip one if we don't have to. But right here, each candidate's microphone will be muted when it's not his turn to speak. They were both given a pad and a paper, pen and a bottle of water before the debate began. No pre-written notes allowed. There's no studio audience in attendance. They won't be able to have any contact with staffers during commercial breaks. And also, not in there, they're not allowed to sit. They have to stand the whole time, all 90 minutes. And on top of that, I think Poso highlighted another tweet that I saw that they are doing a 1 to 2 minute delay. It's not the typical 7-second delay. It's a 1 to 2 minute delay on the actual video that you're watching, which is unheard of, right? 1 to 2 minutes. That is absolutely ridiculous, because it's going into the fact that they could selectively edit this. I do want
to bring to attention that I was going to talk about the beginning of this debate real quick, because I saw the beginning with no split attention, and it started off. Joe did not look. He already looked old in the beginning of the debate. Had his very soft voice, like an old person, so he didn't start off well. And Trump kind of started off slow for me too, but he's better right now, at least from what I'm hearing. But Biden, he said for one of the answers, he said we finally beat Medicare, which he's not looking great right now. There's some cognizance there. I saw him smirk at something Trump said and everything, but it's not great. It's not his best look right now.
So, Dave, if you are on the Trump team, what are you saying is the strategy against Biden tonight? What should he be doing? What should he be talking about if you're his team?
Well, there's a difficulty here because of the rules implemented by CNN, but I also feel like Trump actually kind of walked into this with the rules, because he's basically punished Trump right now. That's his arc. So people watching it that already are Trump fans, or maybe even slightly leaning towards it, will at least glom some kind of sympathy for him because he's going into the lion's den. Maybe they'll think he's a bit stupid, but they'll also think that this is just ridiculous. But what it seems like they started off with Trump. Trump seems to kind of be fighting his nature of going off in tangents, but so far he's been, at least from what I've been able to hear and glean, he's actually doing pretty well answer-wise and trying to give his side of the story and doing everything without even trying to talk over Biden or anything. But like I said, Biden is honestly the story right now, with him being slow. He's actually being a bit sleepy Joe, which is not great, because it's not even 20 minutes in. So
yeah, and I think a good thing that Trump needs to hammer at Biden is not necessarily get personal per se with a lot of things, but just asking him every once in a while, starting off and being with his answer, being Joe, are you okay? Are you good? Trying to seem genuine, right?
He doesn't even need to.
Make Joe seem, but not even that, but try and seem genuine, not joking around. If Joe has an issue, if he obviously has an issue to an answer, just have Trump. I think what they should be telling him is seem genuine and just be hey, I couldn't understand what his answer was. Are you okay, Joe? Do we need to take a break here?
I think there could be something there, but right now he's really attacking. He seems to be very much attacking on positions, on things he's done, on things that are failing under the Biden administration. So I actually think he's doing pretty well right now. There is something you could do right there, but apparently I couldn't fucking see it. But apparently he got cut off by the journalists. This is bad. This is.
Well, here's the thing. Here's a few, it's funny. Jake Tapper has constantly called him a Nazi. So that's they
didn't cut off Trump. They cut off Biden because of how he looked.
Oh, so they're trying to help him out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not surprising. The thing that we see that they're going to do, and they do it anyway, they're going to Biden-splain. when Biden says a whole bunch of gibberish and bullshit, and we saw them do it in 2020, when Biden would say something that wasn't, legit or legible, they would rephrase it as they were trying. Because, sometimes they'll take an answer and be like, what do you think about this? They'll rephrase it and then ask Trump. And it wasn't exactly at all what Biden said.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see a lot of that tonight. Now, Tapper has called Trump a Nazi constantly over the past 8 years. You have Dana Bash, right? Her ex-husband is one of the 51 intelligence experts that said that the Hunter thing was a Russian laptop was misinformation. There is not a single way that these two individuals are going to be fair to Trump. And I think the one confidence Trump has is it seems like every time he walks into CNN, he absolutely eats their fucking lunch. That town hall that he
But that's with an audience. That's the thing. That's with an audience. So it is different when you don't have an audience there, because Trump likes to play to an audience. That's where he gets his energy. That's where he gets his groove going.
So I am curious though, because Trump does have a charm about him, right? And it was not too long ago. It's less than a decade ago. He was friends with all these people. Dana Bash, Jake Tapper, he was fine with all of them. He was going on CNN, things like that. They really started to turn on him with the Obama truther stuff. That's when all of the left started to turn on him, because he went after Darling, right? But it was it wasn't that long ago. They were all fine with Donald Trump. And I really feel like, they're trying to not have the audience there to help Joe Biden in order to to keep it so that, you can't get the reactions. But I also think that having Trump alone with just those three of them and maybe just whatever crew is there might work to his favor, because during the breaks, he's going to be talking to Joe. He's going to be talking to Jake. He's going to be talking to Dana. And I mean, they're not going to not be personable, because it's easy to be an asshole. It is. It's real easy to be an asshole. I think they're going to be fine. Because here's the thing. It is, Dave, you've been here before. People hate confrontation. People hate confrontation. So in person, they're probably going to be just fine. You know what I mean? They'll be fake. But I also feel like Trump does have a charm about him. And I feel like Trump isn't going to be a dickhead to Jake. He's not going to be a dickhead to Dana. He's going to be just fine and might be able to work them enough, not where they're going to be nice to him, but where they'll at least be more fair than typical, because they're not going to have the crowd behind them when he makes fun of them in person, right? So there's not going to be the crowd reaction of laughing when he went at Megyn Kelly. The crowd was like, "Oh shit." And that turned Megyn Kelly into a leftist for 3 straight years. And now for some reason, she's back in the conservative fold. I will never understand why we let Megyn Kelly back. I don't give a shit that she's a journalist that gets scoops. She is not on the right, but I digress. Megyn, if you're hearing this, come on the show. We could talk. But anyway, it's, I don't know. I don't think it.
Oh shit. Wait. Biden, hold up. Biden gave an answer. I couldn't hear everything. Biden gave an answer at the end of it. Oh, wow, he looks bad. At the end of it, he said probably some nonsense. And then Trump said, literally starting his answer, said, I don't know what he said at the end of the sentence. I don't even think he knows what he said at the end of that sentence.
Which is exactly what he needs to do, because he needs to draw attention in the national audience. And here's the thing. The people that aren't going to vote for Trump are just going to be like, he's being mean. And they were going to do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
But those middle of the rung people that debates actually kind of sway, or they even at least look at it. If he can just highlight those types of things, they're going to look at it and go, man, I'm not a huge fan of Trump, but we cannot put Biden back in the White House. Highlighting that, what do you say? We're 23 minutes in out of 90.
Yes.
And he's already not being able, at 2 commercial breaks, he's already not being able to put sentences together. And I'm sorry, his aides are attending to him during these commercial breaks. That rule is being broken left and right. And I really hope Trump has a mic or something on him, or his own little mini camera, so he can film all the shit going on during the breaks, because they're not following that rule. They're absolutely helping him. But that's I like this. I like this whole entire live David's reaction thing that we have going on. So anything else that you think can help or hurt Trump right now?
Right now, he's doing fine. He's doing great. He's got to not implode himself, and then he's all right. Look like Trump, give your answers. Some of them people may not like, some of them people may love. But right now, he's fucking great. He's flying fucking high. Unless they give Biden some type of cocktail that works in the commercial break to make him at least seem better, at least seem cognizant of where he is and what he's doing, it's a bad night. It is a bad night for the Democrats. I mean, depending on what kind of theories you think, they might not be a bad night.
I was going to say, do you think that they are trying to say, like,
no,
we have to get somebody in now? Look at that.
I kind of think they would have done it before this, because they already ran the defense line of cheap fakes, which is ridiculous. Because like that's even wrong. I'm
sorry,
but
that wasn't intentional. Karine Jean-Pierre is just a fucking idiot. Okay, he did not mean to say cheap.
Not how it's supposed. That's not what it
did not mean to say it. It was a meme. That woman cannot speak. We have discovered this. Peppermint Patty was a much better press secretary than, and I don't want to say that, whatever her name is, Jen Psaki was good at, and I will say Psaki. Circle back was good at anything, but man, Karine Jean-Pierre makes Jen Psaki look fantastic.
Yeah,
except Jen Psaki has a show now, and she sucks on that. Anyway, but okay, so Dave, we're going to jump into another topic, right? But I just want you to keep on monitoring debate and kind of just like...
Yeah, I'll be watching, and if I'm in and out, just remind me of what the hell you said, because this is kind of wild.
I mean, I wish that we could throw this up on the screen, because I think it would be gold if we could throw this up on the screen.
I think I did see it up on the screen for someone else. I mean, we could take the chance if you want.
I mean, we're small. Do you really think... And we could provide commentary over it, right?
Yeah.
So do you want to share?
Yeah.
Can you get up on your computer and we'll share? Let's do that. We could talk our other topics if we want to. Maybe during commercial breaks we could talk Kotaku and we could talk Mikal Bridges trade. But all right, so let's throw this up.
President Biden, a very sad day in America. President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie.
That's incredible. That's the first thing that we get to.
Better off since I passed the PACT Act.
But you could
million of them
hear that his voice is already gone. This is from the beginning of the debate, by the way. From the absolute beginning of the debate.
Burn pits. They're all being covered now. And he opposed.
He has that angry look about him, right? That's his go-to, and I don't know if he has another one.
My son spent a year in Iraq.
I didn't even just 4 years ago during the debates. At least had more emotions, right? The only thing he has now is this.
In France.
Yeah, no, it's not great. You'll see it. He'll do it again. His mouth like is hanging open.
I went to the World War
it's kind of, he looks out of it.
We mentioned Keith Malinak. Keith has that great show, Close Your Great Shirt that just says close your damn mouth.
Because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
He's trying to, oh my God.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty bad. Up quote, suckers and losers.
That's pretty bad.
Made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing like many of the
and I mean,
he made that up.
That is a lie that's been pushed a lot. It's a lie that's going to be believed by a lot of people consistently.
And think of
so, I'm not surprised he went in that direction. I'm also not surprised that he brought up Bo, because he always wants to.
He always brings up Bo. But there's also, and look at him, he looks lost.
Nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers.
It's crazy.
To think that
maybe I give him the benefit of the doubt there, like mouth should be closed. There you go. But he does look like he's trying to look at Trump at least. Because there are times where he looked even more lost than this.
Russia was made up. Just like the 51.
This is just elderly abuse in every which way. And that's the sad part.
Just like the
it's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. I'm seeing on Twitter that apparently Bosch is going absolutely insane. Because about Madness Bosch, which I mean, not a person that matters much. It's just hilarious that people are stealing.
Because he made up this,
but we knew this was going to happen. That's the thing.
Apologize to me.
Absolutely.
We all knew.
Four-star general standing to your side was on your staff who said you said it. Period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history.
You could see Trump
and their family
wants to interrupt so bad, and he knows his mic isn't on.
Yeah, like I said,
they come home.
Yeah, you could probably notice it, but they're trying to make him more disciplined, but also like he's kind of attacking as well. And so far, he's doing a pretty good job of it. To be quite honest,
policy.
You know the thing
better than we've seen him do before, because there's times where he's had to stick to script and be more contained, and he's been kind of boring and lazy, and he's not the Trump that people like. But right now, he's doing a lot better than he has in the past.
If Russia,
and I think Trump is trying to turn it on in a sense that
he's trying to make sure he looks younger and more spry. Are Putin
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard.
First of
It's
all,
not fucking hard at this
Our
point.
veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander in chief, if that's what you call him, that we've ever had.
And I
They
think,
can't stand
and
him.
honestly,
So let's
I'm
get that straight.
honestly trying to
And they
be
like me
objective
more
about
than
this.
just
I don't want to
about any
just
of them.
bash Biden the whole
that's
time
based on
because I know I have my
every single bit
biases.
of
Obviously,
information.
I've had
As
it.
far as
But
Russia
like,
and Ukraine,
it hasn't been
we
looking
had a
good all
real
night. Like
president,
that
the
smile,
president that
being
knew
like
that was
again, like I said, being
respected by Putin.
cognizant that Trump is
He would have
destroying
never- he
him
would have never
is actually a
invaded
good
Ukraine.
thing for him.
Do you think he has an earpiece in?
Now, much more than people know. You know,
He has a
you
hidden
talk about
earpiece that's, like,
numbers,
telling him to
double those
smile?
numbers, maybe triple those numbers. He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think
would
he
be wild.
encouraged Russia from
Funny.
going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a
But
horrible
this is-
embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
I mean,
The-
Trump sounds like
When
Trump.
Putin watched
Yeah.
that and he saw the
And there's been times at times where, yeah, he has seemed a little more tired, a little more, still Trump. But this is Trump from Hillary right now. Like, this is Trump sounding like Trump in the Hillary time. This is what we want to see.
in the history of our country, Afghanistan.
And this is all
where we
he needs
left
to do.
Billions of
The hell
dollars
just
of
walked
equipment
in-
behind.
what is happening at CNN? Did you see that?
Soldiers and 38
Yeah.
soldiers.
Someone
just walked in
And
front
by
of
the
the
way, we
fucking
left people
screen.
behind too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin
What
saw
the
that,
fuck?
he said,
Someone just
"You know
walked
what?
across?
I think we're going to go
There's
in
a
and
shadow.
maybe take my
What's happening?
his dream."
How unprofessional are you,
The
CNN?
difference is he never would have
God.
invaded
This-
Ukraine. Never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded in a million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business
And
with
this
them.
is-
They ran out of money.
This
They
is
were
just
broke. They
a
had
good
no money
answer.
for Hamas.
Attack his
They
positioning,
had no
attack
money for
Afghanistan,
anything.
attack
No
the
money
way
for terror.
things are
That's
going.
why you had no terror.
I mean, in the end, he's
during
just
my
telling the truth.
administration. This place, the
That's
whole
all he's
world
doing is
is
telling the
blowing
truth.
up under him.
Yeah, either way, I'm just saying, like,
President Biden?
that's what he needs to
I've never
do.
heard so much malarkey in my whole life. But the fact of the matter
Hey,
is,
that's not
we're in a
bad. That's not
situation
bad
where-
for
let's take the last point first.
But the expectations are so low.
Attacked
That's the sad
American
part.
troops,
Expectations are
kill
so
or
low.
cause brain damage for a number of these troops, and he did
Yeah,
not.
but why are the thing is though? Why are they there? And that's a question. American troops are there.
Just having headaches. That's all. it
Why is Iran
They
able
didn't
to
do a
attack them?
thing when the attack took place? Number one. Number two, we got over 100,000 Americans and others out
No.
of Afghanistan
Yeah, this is-
during that.
I don't understand why,
Found ourselves in a
if you're on
situation
that
where
team, you
take a
actually
look
try
at
to
what
defend
Trump did in
Afghanistan.
Ukraine.
I genuinely, like,
This guy
there-
told
you
Ukraine,
can't say a lot about this.
Do whatever you want.
No,
and do
no,
whatever
you can't say
want.
because here's the thing.
And that's exactly what
Trump
did.
had a plan, and Trump needs to go back and say, like, I had my plan. This was the date that I wanted them out. You pushed it back to September 11th to make it a political statement, and it was a disaster because you made it obvious and open, and the Taliban was ready to go and roughshod in because of you making it such an obvious thing. I wanted to do it in a covert, proper way that my military wanted to do it.
President Trump,
I never said
But that's the thing, though, is that, like,
I just want to go back to my
if you're
original
Biden, you don't
question,
bring
which
up,
is,
like,
are
you don't really
Putin's
defend
terms
Afghanistan at all. Because, like,
acceptable
you
to
can't.
Keeping the
Because you're not going to win that
terror
battle. Like, that's just simply not going to happen.
Yeah, it was
But
really
look,
bad.
this is a war that never should
I'm
have
surprised their
started.
stream hasn't been
If we
taken
had a
down yet.
leader
They're
in
like
this war,
they're DMCAing
he'd let
everyone,
everybody
trying to take
along.
them down. Apparently,
He's given
Yeah.
200
well, that was a rumor.
dollars
Who knows if it
more.
happens? There might be too many ones to do it. There's going to be
$200
thousands of people on
billion.
YouTube
That's a
doing
lot
this.
of
So
money. I
it's
don't
really
think
hard to
there's ever
DMCA
been
all of
anything
them.
like it. Every
Yeah.
time that Zelensky comes
This
to
is
this
fair
country,
use.
he walks away
We're
with
getting
$60
commentary
million.
over it.
He's the greatest salesman
I'm
ever.
sorry if people
And
don't
I'm
like
not
how much
knocking
we're
him.
talking
I'm not
over this. I
knocking
just don't
anything.
want to take him
I'm
down.
only
So
saying
I am
Yes.
not trying to
the
have
money
any
that
dead
was
air.
spent
At least
on
not
this
that
war.
much.
And we will
We shouldn't be spending.
highlight things
It
if
should have
things
never
happen. As
happened.
we're also
I will
listening.
have
we,
that
we
war
understand if
settled
Yeah,
you're getting
between Putin and
frustrated.
Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being
it.
killed
I
so
love it.
needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled.
This is where he's going to win over libertarians and a lot of the populist right. This has been his position the whole time. Loss of life is bad. I want to end the war.
Criminal.
Yep.
He's killed thousands and thousands of people, and he has made one thing clear. He wants
sad
to
thing is,
reestablish what
This is going to be a
Soviet
Biden
Union,
win
not
because he
peace
just
war,
knows
all
what the
Ukraine.
answer is being.
That's
Yeah,
what
the
he
question
wants.
that's being
And you
asked.
think he'll stop
That's
there?
how they're going to say
You
this.
think
He was
he'll
able to
stop?
actually answer every question.
If he takes
Not that he was
Ukraine,
able to
what
answer
do you
it
think
well,
happens to Poland?
but the
What do you
fact
think
that he knew that they were talking
What do
about
you think
Russia and he was
happens to
coherent
Poland?
enough to it.
And so if you
That's all they're going to give a shit about. He was coherent enough to do it. That's what's sad.
In fact, he does
Is
what he says.
we're not going to worry about his
and walks
actual
away.
performance.
By the way,
We're going to worry about, was he just able to, he made it through 90 minutes. It's like, what the fuck? No, it doesn't matter.
And our NATO allies.
He gives good answers. No, he never does.
Funding for Ukraine as we have. That's why we're strong.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East.
Hit him for
In
that.
October, Hamas
Maybe it's me,
attacked
but
Israel.
you don't bring up the
More
funding
than
to
1,000
Ukraine.
people and
People
taking
don't like how much money is going to Ukraine.
Among those held
going
and
not
thought to
well in
still be
America.
alive are
Just don't bring up how much money you're giving to them.
Israel's response
Maybe
has
bring
killed
up that we
thousands of
back Ukraine. You
Palestinians
could do
and
that.
created a
Bring up that we
humanitarian
back
crisis
Ukraine.
in Gaza.
Don't bring up how much you fund them.
President Biden,
That just reminds people
You've
that their
put
money is
forward a
there instead of
proposal to
more
resolve this
domestic
conflict.
utilities that they want.
But so far,
Now, this
Hamas
topic's going to
has
hurt
not
both of them with
released
Israel and
the
Hamas.
remaining
It's going to hurt
hostages.
Biden
Israel
worse
is
because he has the
continuing
far
its
leftists that
military
really hate the
offensive
fact that he
in Gaza.
supports Israel this
So
much.
what
You're going to hear
additional
in his answer
leverage
if he
will you
knows what's going on.
use
Look
to
at his
get
face right now.
Hamas
Holy
and
shit.
Israel to
He
end the
can't
war?
blink.
You have two
He's on so much
Number one.
Prozac that he can't blink.
From the United Nations Security Council.
No
straight through
way.
the
Holy
G7.
shit. He has a stutter,
Israel
guys.
himself have endorsed the plan put forward.
As a stutter.
Endorsed the plan put forward.
Yeah, it can be played off.
There's 3 stages to it. The first stage is
I
training
want to see if he remembers the stage.
hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a
Okay, let's
ceasefire
see.
with additional conditions. The third phase is
Wait, 2 ceasefires?
The end of the war. The only one who wants
Wait.
the war to continue is
Hold on.
number one.
He wants
The only one standing.
hostages with the
They're still
ceasefire
pushing
and a
hard.
ceasefire with extended conditions and the end of the war. Those are his 3
What's
stages.
happened in
2
Israel?
ceasefires and an end of the war. That is not a
I was trying to
plan.
listen. I don't know if I caught it yet.
It's not a fucking plan. That is a wish list. That's not an actual plan.
They need and when they need.
There's nothing there.
By
Yeah,
the
of
way,
course we want a
I'm the
fucking
guy that
ceasefire. We want the
organized
hostages back and we want the
against
war to
Iran
end. But
when
how?
had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic
not a plan.
missile attack on Israel. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and
I hope Trump asks us about the failed
saved
Lambert
Israel.
that we had soldiers fired at, what the plan was with that
Support for
Lambert.
Israel of anyone in the
Stupid
world.
smirk. That
And so
Trump's-
they're 2 different things. Hamas cannot be allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people to house.
He's going to lose so much support for this because what he's saying is he
By the way, they
the war
Well,
can continue.
Hamas greatly weakened, and they should be. They should be eliminated. But you've got to be careful.
Right there, he wants the war to continue.
Weapons.
The people that support the
He
Palestinians,
said Hamas should be eliminated, right?
he did. But the people that want the Palestinians also
Yeah,
believe that
yeah,
Hamas-
those
We
marching
have
for
an
Palestine
ocean separating
don't want.
us.
Yeah, that's
European
where he
nations
loses. But
together.
I don't think I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know how much he necessarily had that in the first
maybe
place.
more than that.
I'm not gonna
less
lie.
than
I don't
us.
know how much he really had that.
Why
in the first
doesn't he
place.
call them
Coming out and condemning Hamas?
like I did with
more
NATO?
of the right thing to do in his position? He put awful there. But that's more of the right thing to do in his position.
All the memes we're going to get just out of Biden's faces when he's trying to listen.
Almost 100% of the money was
And here's the thing,
paid
I
by
feel
us.
bad for him in this way
He didn't do
because he's not doing anything different than any other old man does, right? When they're trying to focus, they really do give that hard stare. And he's giving his best
because of
to
location,
stay
because we
focused,
have an
to
ocean
actually
in
listen to
between.
Trump. And he's doing a
You gotta
pretty
ask
good
him
job
as
in that
far as-
sense. But the issue
To be
is
honest,
that
he
shouldn't be
looks
the
more
bar.
alive. He looks more
Israel's the
alive
number
when
one
Trump
spot.
is
He said
answering and
the
he's
only
like
one who
reacting
wants
to
to
what
keep
Trump
going
is
is
saying.
Hamas.
Like he looks
He's the bar.
much more there. But that's not what you need. That's not
He doesn't want to
good.
do it. He's
No,
become like
no.
a Palestinian,
Let's see.
but they don't
Whoa.
like him because
He's
he's a very
called a
bad
Palestinian.
Palestinian. He's a weak one.
Oh, I can't believe I just said we should have
Never
lived
heard
talk.
so much foolishness. This is a guy who wants to get out of NATO. You're going to stay in NATO? He's going to pull out of NATO. The idea that we have.
Wait, hold on. Wait, that's not a real thing. He didn't pull out NATO. He just wants them to pay their fair share. It's a lie. Like, right there, that's an abject lie. He said he would pull out of NATO if they don't start paying their fair share. Like,
Continue to go.
and honestly, the only reason the Western nations can support Ukraine and Israel right now is because he made them pay.
He keeps talking.
just go
about.
back to
Go ahead.
Putin?
Let Putin go in and control.
Was there a
Ukraine
point to this? Because
and
Trump ended with Palestinian. Maybe we missed something we were talking while he was talking about
He
that.
has
But
no
why
idea
will he
what
go
he's
back to
talking
Putin?
about. And by the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South
You know what,
Korea,
honestly?
because they understand.
Maybe this
that
format isn't
this kind of
bad.
Dislocation.
I don't mind
Just
this
shuts the
format.
fuck up
like-
while one person answers. Like, no one has a mic on.
It's never been
It's
able
not
to be
bad.
contained just to Europe.
Because during the Republican primaries, that was
Just
fucking
to
terrible.
follow up, would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to see,
That's an
but
interesting
before we
question.
do that, the problem we have is that we spend
Okay,
all the
that's
money.
fair.
So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations because if you add them up,
Everything
they're
up
about
there.
the same size economically Their economy is about the same size as the
But
United States.
it's interesting
They were written
that,
cars.
you know,
they don't want anything that we have, but we're supposed to take.
Trump's
their
trying to go
cars,
back to
their
his
food,
strength
their
right now,
everything,
which
their
is
agriculture.
economy, which is
That's what
smart.
changes
So
it.
he's not
The big thing
a.
that changes, they don't want to pay.
I feel like a lot of his
And the
foreign
only
policy
reason
was because
that
of
he
guys
can
like, you might hate him, but
play
Jared
games with
Kushner
NATO
and
is
Stephen
because
Miller
I
and
got
things.
them
Well,
to put
Stephen
up
Miller was
billions
more
and
the
billions of
like
dollars. I
medical
said,
stuff. But there's
and
like,
right about this.
and he had
I said,
Bolton in his
no,
ear, which I hope he
I'm
didn't
not gonna
listen to.
support
But
NATO if you
you
don't
get other
pay.
people doing foreign
They asked me
policy.
that
I don't think he's a
question.
big
Would you
foreign
guard us
policy.
against
So it's like,
Russia? At a very secret meeting.
it's all
with the
business,
28,
man. He makes business deals,
states at
even
that time,
in terms of foreign
nations at that
policy. It's
time.
all
I
about
said, no, if you don't
getting
pay,
business back.
I won't
And
do
here we
that.
go.
And you
There
know
it
what
is.
happened?
Talking about NATO.
Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next month.
But
But
that's an
now
answer
we're in the
people are
same
going to like.
position. We're paying everybody's
Thank you.
bills.
Let's turn to the
there
issue
we go.
of democracy. Former President Trump.
Oh, God,
I want to ask you about
democracy.
January 6, 2021.
Oh, my
After
Don't
the
answer.
police
This is just you don't answer.
day,
Don't
some
answer.
of them stormed the Capitol to stop.
You don't answer this. You just say no.
Answer by saying you're actually going to get rid of those that are just charged with trespass out of their jail cell.
You don't even give him that. Just be like this. That was a non-starter.
Who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again.
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th.
Good. I love it.
On
I love it.
January
Fuck him.
6th,
He's going to
we
fuck
had a great
himself.
border. Nobody coming through. Very few.
We had a great boy.
January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th,
I
we
like
had the
that.
lowest tax.
That's not bad.
We had
Yeah,
the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were
I think
respected.
they rehearsed this
And then
one.
he comes in.
They were ready for
and
this
we're
one.
now laughed at. We're like
Definitely.
a bunch of stupid people. But what happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible.
This is a good answer.
including
Don't even
weaponization.
Yeah, he
acknowledge that it
rejected
was
their
a bad
framing.
bet.
About,
Yeah, he rejected their
because
framing, said we were good at that time under me.
Yeah.
He's pushing it to
You
them.
have 80 seconds left.
Interesting.
My question
I'm not
was,
going to talk about breaking my oath. I didn't do it. We were strong under me. He didn't even acknowledge anything he said on that day, anything at the rally. Yeah, no, it was great.
and worry that you'll do it again.
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and
look at
patriotically.
Tapper, of course.
And Nancy
Going back
Pelosi, if
to
you
him.
just watched the news from 2 days ago.
Oh, there we go. I like
On
this.
tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say.
Filmmaker.
She said,
Easier, right?
"Oh, no, it's my responsibility. I
What
was
is that, Trump? That's
responsible
a
for
great
this."
meme.
I
I'm not
offered
gonna
her
lie.
10,000
Filmmaker.
soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor of, in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing, turned it down. The mayor of D.C.
And the thing is, these are all factual.
I offered 10,000
Yeah.
because I could see. I
These
had
are all factual.
virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it too, and you could feel it.
Yeah,
And
there
I
was a
said,
lot of people
they
there.
gotta have
That's
some
true.
National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her, and she now admits that she turned it down.
This is good.
The same day she
This
was,
is good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't be very
Not,
happy
you know,
with her because it
again,
made her into a
you're
liar.
saying your premise is you didn't fall into the trap.
Yeah, he's not floundering about it. He's he's
President
very specific on his attacks on
He
who
encouraged those.
he felt was more wrong.
Number
Yep,
one.
yep.
I sat in the dining room off the Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours, 3 hours watching,
And you know,
being begged. by his vice president,
Biden's just in there
his
telling the lies.
Republican side as well, to do something, to call for.
Trump wants to interrupt so bad.
Instead, they've talked about these people being patriots
great.
and great patrons of America. In fact, he
Biden
says
is-
he'll not forgive them for what they've done.
Well, you need to forgive. You need to fucking. They've been held in solitary for 3 years, and a bunch of them haven't even had a trial.
He went
They
to
all, at
every
this
single
point,
court in the nation.
they all should be pardoned because this is not whether they did something wrong or not.
Scores of
This is
cases.
not.
Not how-
It's a system of swift.
They said,
justice.
Yes.
They
This is
said,
political prisoners.
this
Listen,
guy-
3
guy
years is a
responsible
fucking lifetime for
doing what
trespassing.
was
Okay,
done.
you know what?
Did
The
do a
ones that
damn
trespass,
thing.
if you want to
These
hit them with
people should be in
something,
jail.
they should have been in and out within a
Should be
year,
in-
minimum.
Not even a year.
If you can sit there and put them in jail under a year, maybe the people that broke shit, the people that fought police,
President
still shouldn't
Biden.
have them there that long. But man, that's
What they've
insane.
done to some people that
Let's
are
see, here we
so
go.
innocent.
I like
You ought
this.
to be ashamed of yourself.
Fuck
What you've
yeah.
done, how you've destroyed the lives of so many people when they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down
That's good.
many
Keep
other
going.
cities.
Keep
You go to
going.
Minnesota, Minneapolis.
going. Fuck
what
yeah.
they've done there with the fires all over the
You
city.
could tell
I
we're
didn't
voting
bring
for
in the
Trump.
National Guard. That's
Yeah, you know our bias.
you look at all of the. They took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in
Well,
the
yeah,
National
Chaz
Guard.
and
They
Chop,
heard
right?
that. They saw them coming and they left.
Talking about Chaz and Chop.
What he said about this whole subject is so off. peacefully paid.
There you go.
One other thing. The Unselect Committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now, out of office, and Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information.
Yes, they destroyed.
Because
the thing is, this is information that people watching this that aren't in conservative circles
all of the information.
aren't saying.
Go to jail.
And I have to say, this has to be the influence of like Don Jr. and stuff like that. Because Don Jr. is very tapped in to the conservative sphere, especially since he has his own podcast.
And the fact of the matter is, he isn't. What he's telling you is simply not true.
He needs to hit him back. He needs to hit him back and say, Robert Hur said that you were too fucking senile to be
all those
a felon. He needs to come back and say it. You want to call him a felon? Well, Rob Hur said you're too senile to stand trial. How can you be president? He absolutely needs to go back and
broke the windows, occupied offices, turned over desks,
occupied office,
turned around statues.
Wait, Border Patrol Union.
Those people.
To be clear, we never have and never will endorse Biden.
The first debates we had, the debates we had the first time around, I said, "Will you denounce the Proud Boys?" He said, "No, I'll tell them to stand by."
Oh my God!
The idea he's refusing. Will you denounce these guys?
What is there to denounce?
We're talking about now. You denounce the people who attacked that Capitol. What are you going to do?
Oh my God! What are you going to do?
Give you
what are you going to do there, boy? What are you
the weirdest pause.
Jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month.
Jesus, I wouldn't answer this.
Have every right to go after.
So far, he's rejected their framing on January 6th. I want to see what he does here.
Select committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight.
Main political opponent.
Exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents.
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation.
I fucking
my
love
retribution
it.
is going to be success.
All their framings are stupid.
But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted, going to be convicted probably numerous other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important thing.
Awesome.
But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe
I want him to
with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death caused at the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion, or you change the prosecutor.
Yes.
You're not getting $1 billion. If I had
Fuck
to say
yeah.
that's quid pro quo.
He brought that back.
We're not going to do anything.
This is great.
We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with the son.
I do think
This man is a criminal. This man,
I would have liked if he brought up the Hur thing, like you said, though.
We had a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir.
Honestly,
well, you want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you.
I'm not trying to glaze Trump, but this is the best he's looked in a while.
That I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea that you
doesn't have
to
much.
seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong.
He didn't say he was going to seek retribution against someone. He said it was going to be success. So it's like
in our history,
so
something like that before.
This is practice as well. This answer.
Crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public?
Oh my God!
A range of things.
Oh my God!
Sex with a porn star.
Having to how's that
your wife was pregnant.
But also,
what are you talking about?
That isn't provable because apparently it didn't happen. Stormy Daniels came out and said it didn't happen.
I didn't have sex with a porn star.
There you go. Boom.
Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official, a DOJ, into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We had
has done a good job at listening to a lot of the people that are laying this out every day.
Prosecutor,
like your Posos, your Tim Kask, your Benny Johnson, these people that rail on these things. He's obviously his people that
he basically went after his political opponent.
Trump
because
listening to his advisors.
But when the public found out about these,
Trump obviously listened and prepared.
He has no idea what
for this. Like this isn't off the cuff Trump. This is Trump prepared to answer all of the lines of attack.
You know that,
and he's putting his little mannerisms in there earlier when he was like, I don't even think he knows what he said.
In the history of any campaign,
he knew this stuff was going to come, and he's fucking hitting back.
Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam, and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump Trump
He's calling
will be
75
voting
million
against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's
This is
more-
deplorable.
He's got a lot of
Yeah.
cases down the road coming on. He's got a whole range of issues he has to
All
face.
Trump needs to
I don't
say
know what
is,
the jury's
no,
looking
I
at,
don't.
but
They've all been thrown out.
He has a real problem. And so the fact
They've been thrown out.
Could you
Fannie
honestly
Willis,
hear any
he
president
shouldn't
say,
talk about it,
I'm gonna
but he
seek
should say, if you
retribution?
look
Not even.
up,
Not even. The question is about voting against democracy. I don't know. Maybe it's not the best answer, but Trump basically needs to say that he is fine with the other half. Like, you don't vote for me, you're still participating in it because he's would be the unifier.
My policies are still going to benefit you even if you don't vote for me. Like they did.
Fucking brought up Charlottesville.
And the young woman got killed.
Jesus fucking Christ! Like this is
pulling out everything.
They said,
No, Trump needs to bring up Snopes and say that Snopes even says that the very fine people is now false. He needs to bring up Snopes now. No, they did. They reversed it.
He just said it now. No, I'm saying I don't know if he brought it up.
Would ever say Nazis coming out of fields carrying torches.
He might bring up Snopes.
The same anti-Semitic bile, carrying swastikas.
No, and also he needs to also say you eulogize Robert Byrd.
You know what they are.
He needs to bring up both Snopes and be like, talk about swastikas. You eulogize Robert Byrd, who was a KKK member.
Biden is hitting everything that's
both
like
of you know that
Democrat.
totally wiped out, because when you see the sentence, it said 100% exoneration on this. So he just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville. He didn't run because of Charlottesville. He ran because it was his last chance. He's not equipped to be president. You know it, and I know it. It's ridiculous. We have a debate. We're trying to justify his presidency. His presidency, he's without question the worst president, the worst presidency in the history of our country. We shouldn't be having a debate about it. There's nothing to debate. He made up the Charlottesville story, and you'll see it's debunked all over the place. Every every reasonable actor has debunked it. And just the other day, it came out where it was fully debunked. It's a nonsense story. He knows that, and he didn't run because of Charlottesville. He used that as an excuse to run.
It's actually wild. It's
and debunked. It happened. All you have to do
what is happening right now is Biden is weighing on
somehow that's
like our friend of the show, Pastor Daryl Scott, brought up 2020 talking points. He's weighing on 2020 talking points, and Trump is right now going on the 2024 talking points. And here's that's what's happening right now.
I'm going to bring up John Ziegler real quick. John Ziegler is one of the most honest individuals I ever met, and he hates Donald Trump. He just said 35 minutes ago, but it's probably gotten worse here. Biden is performing much worse than I expected. We are currently in potentially total disaster territory with everything now being on the table for Democrats. Theory he's been making forever. So
why?
But the thing is, I mean, I agree with that. You probably agree with that too. Like, I didn't expect him to be this bad.
Thank you, President Biden. We're going to be
I did. I expected him to be this bad because here's the thing. There is, and we've been hearing this for a long time. There is one person they can roll out right now who has a chance of beating Trump at the polls and at the box, and that's Michelle Obama. No one knows shit about Michelle Obama. She was just a popular first lady. I was going to lower it anyway. Yeah, she was just a popular first lady, and they're not going to be able to hit anything on her. They really aren't. Yeah. Nothing's going to stick to her. You know, Gavin Newsom.
But what I'm saying is that, like, because like we've talked about that before on the show anyway. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is that I didn't expect Biden to look this bad. I expect him to look this bad just because of how old he is. But I would have thought his team would have had him more up than he is right now.
You can only do so much, though.
That's true. That's 100% true. You
can only do so much, and when a guy is deteriorating like he is, and here's the thing.
And you know what? Sorry, go ahead. I'll add.
This could happen to Trump. This really can. Because
and that's one of the big issues with Trump is that this could happen to Trump.
So here's the question. Right now, it seems like the big players, I went back and listened to some of our shows, and when we talked to Jamie Lashley, the COO of Telos Healthcare, we actually asked her about the front runners. At that time, it was Kristi Noem, who's out because she kills dogs. It was Tim Scott, who it seems like is not really in there anymore. He doesn't seem very relevant. Yeah. And Ben Carson, who has gotten a lot of love. He keeps on coming.
I like Ben Carson. He's just a damn breadstick. That's his biggest issue.
JD Vance. And another name that's been rolled around, obviously Vivek's always there, but I think Vivek's kind of out. I think Vivek is going to be in the cabinet.
We'll see.
Another name, Dave, that's been floated around, it might be a really, really good one. Rand Paul. Unless you're going to make
I don't know
Rand
if he
fall
can
like
do
a
Rand.
medical person. But here's the thing, Rand.
I like Rand.
He's popular amongst conservatives. Yes, some of them bug him, but he's popular, especially the way he went after Fauci. He would bring Mises Caucus Plus for libertarians. You would get, and it would totally take all the steam out of anything that what the fuck guy that won Chase that won for Mises, all the steam out of them. They would get less than 0.5%. Like they would be gone. They're out. And he would pull a bunch of the anti-war. Even people on the left that are anti-war know how strong he is. Biden's very pro-war.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's happening tonight, his VP pick, right? Like
We'll
it's going to
see.
be.
I don't know. I think he said he was going to announce it, but
I'm pretty sure it's tonight. But what was I going to say?
I don't like the idea of Marco Rubio. I really don't.
No, I don't. Jesse Kelly tweeted out, I don't know. I kind of agree with this, actually. He said, may God forgive me for what I'm about to say, but Tapper and Bash are doing very well. Obviously, some bias there, and Trump not taking their bait is hurting what they want, but they're not bad so far. And he says, I'm sorry. And I kind of agree with that. Like, the questions haven't been terrible. They've been obvious bias, but you knew what was going to happen there. But it hasn't been, what's his face from Fox? I can't remember his name.
That fucking asshole that now his dad was much better than him. And he's over at MSNBC now. Chris Wallace. No, he's
Chris Wallace was worse to Trump than this right now. I mean, there's much more to debate for, but
here's the thing with that. I believe it's the format. I believe it's because they have full control. No one else is talking without their permission. All these moderators get flustered when they all start screaming, and I don't blame them. There are 2 or 3 or 4 individuals with a bunch of other people who are very strong-willed, very charismatic, very big in terms of personality, right? If you're a politician going for that, you're big in personality. So it is something that I think this format, and they might go ahead with this completely and keep doing it this way.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it because it forces them to listen to each other.
Certainly face again.
And it forces them to be quiet. And it does help the moderators a lot. It really does.
To a record low under your presidency, Black families still earn far less than white families. Black mothers are still 3 times more likely to die for pregnancy-related causes. Black Americans are imprisoned 5 times
trying to debate
white Americans.
What they're saying live right now.
Black voters who are disappointed that
RFK has over 1 million live viewers right now. He's trying to answer their answers.
The fact of the matter is he's more.
And it's therealdebate.com. RFK's fucking pathetic, man. I'm not gonna lie. He's a pathetic person.
Number 2, the wages of black.
This is all about black families. Honestly, all Trump needs to do is just start naming off all the influential people that said they vote for him, all the rappers. He needs to start talking about Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion, I think, is one. Wasn't she the one that was walking down and they asked her why is she voting for Trump? And he's just like, because I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid anymore.
I can't remember.
Megan Thee Stallion, but he just needs to ramble off all the rappers that are supporting him.
Not even. Bring up how you went into the South Bronx? I can't remember.
South Bronx.
Bring up how you actually went to where no one goes.
Yeah. How he went there and he ventured into a spot where it's typically
no one goes.
It would be Biden's voting territory because it's just for granted.
Sure we provide for child care costs. We got to make sure, because when you provide those child care protections.
Well, here's the thing. He's pulling out all the handouts, right? We got to make sure we give handout. We got to make sure we give handout. We got to make sure we give handout.
There's more to be done.
Trump needs to hit him with, this is an old talking thing, but I think this is one thing that does work. I don't want to give you handouts. I want to give you pride. I want to make you work. I want to give you good jobs.
Disappointed with the progress so far.
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I
thought it was better. I thought it was better. I thought it was great. I thought we've been told that the inflation's not bad at all.
Tax credit.
That's what we've been told.
Buy their first home so they can get started. I made sure that we're in a situation where all those black families and those black individuals.
And if I'm a black person right now, I'm sorry.
It is not.
I'm fucking pissed that they are. I hate all these questions every time because it's like, wait a minute. Why just us? Like, we are just like a token, useful pawn for politicians. Like, why? Like, I hate all these questions. Like, when they sit there and they just ask specifically about a certain category, it's like I would look at this and be like, wait a minute, I'm just a category.
He caused the inflation. He's claiming inflation.
Yes.
And he's right. It's been very bad. He caused the inflation, and it's killing black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't
Honestly, this was a losing question for Biden.
Look at the cost
in
of food,
the whole
it's doubled,
prospect.
it's tripled, and
He probably did the best he could, to be quite honest.
Living anymore.
It is a losing question. There's not much you can do about it.
CNN, you're thinking it's a winning question. They really do, because leftists think that black people are in their pocket.
Leave it alone.
Their voting
destroyed it with his
not with the way polls have been looking. Even if you want to say the polls aren't great, and that they're still kind of bow out anyway, but not with the way polls have been looking.
If Trump can get 20%, it's over. But maybe it's not. Honestly, maybe it's not, because we don't know what they're going to do during the presidential.
People that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18.
You could talk about Chicago getting pissed.
And even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet. But you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you, President
Holy
Biden.
shit. That's a good point to bring up.
When I became president, you know why? The economy was flat on its back. 15% unemployment.
Because there was a fucking pandemic.
He decimated the economy. That's why there was no.
There was a pandemic
at the time.
There was nothing
no
you could
jobs. We provided thousands of millions of jobs for
you didn't. People just got their jobs back.
Minority communities. We made sure.
Trump used to go and be like, "There was a pandemic, you idiot!" And people just went back to work. You didn't provide anything.
I made sure that there $8,000 per person in a family to get written off for health care. But this guy wants to eliminate that. They tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again, and they're going to try again if they win. We find ourselves in a position where.
Greg Gutfeld 25 minutes ago. Think of all those slimy assholes in the media and in politics who said Biden wasn't sharp as ever.
He wants to cut the cops.
If any of that, MSNBC, you know, Joy Reid's dumbass is going to say something fucking stupid. But if any of them say he did a good job, and look at this, honestly, I'm telling you right now, they helped him during the break because he looks a lot more awake right now than he did before that break.
A bit more awake.
Thank you. Another persistent challenge is the climate crisis. 2023 was the hottest
if I'm Trump, I'm just saying there isn't one. Go away.
history, and communities across
just saying no. Just start talking about something else.
Devastating effects of extreme heat, intensifying wildfires, stronger hurricanes.
This is such a ridiculous question.
None of it's real. You've vowed to end your opponent's climate initiatives, but will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
I would tell him nuclear. He should go nuclear.
Go back to what he said about the police, how close the police are to him. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't in the 1990s.
Very true.
He called it to him, and they've taken great offense at it, and now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black
what can he say? The guy's on camera doing it when he was doing the fucking act in 90s.
And he did what you did, where he just said, fuck the question, and went back to what he wanted to talk about.
Exactly what he should do every time. He should not even play the game, because there is no... Don't acknowledge that it exists. We don't acknowledge it, then they can't say anything.
Development acts ever in the country, opportunity zones. And the biggest beneficiary are blacks. And that's why we
I always hate
have
when
the
they
best
say
numbers
blacks.
with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning.
Just like it's such like a weird term to me.
Yeah.
He's lost
just the blacks.
The black population.
What the fuck?
Because he's done a horrible job for black people.
You just think about Michael Jackson. I'm not going to spend my life being a color. Like, can we just stop?
But wait till you see these millions of people pouring into our country, and they're going to take the job.
I like this.
And
it's
already started. And
I'm
you
going to say what I
haven't
want.
seen anything yet. It's a disaster.
You
ain't seen nothing
38
yet.
seconds left. President Trump, will
Just
you
going to
take
ask him
any
to.
action
Just going to ask.
as
Yeah, well,
president
of course, she
to
would. I
slow
mean,
the
that's, I'm
climate
not going to blame her on that. I'm not
I
going to lie.
want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers.
H2O. Gatorade. H2O.
Using all forms of energy, all forms, everything. And yet, during my 4 years, I had the
nuclear
best
right now. He really should say, like,
ever.
honestly, and if we really are serious about going green, then we need to start embracing nuclear.
Yeah.
I don't know where the hell he's been. The idea that anything he said is true. I've passed the most extensive climate change legislation in history.
He said Trump is going to pull out and write his name in the death note.
My colleges. I came up with $15 billion for HBCUs, historic black universities and colleges, because they don't have those. They don't have the kind of.
Honestly, the super predator thing is like, and the fact that here's the thing. Here's how you know it's bullshit. Why aren't the moderators asking him to respond to that? Why didn't they ask Biden? And the real moderators would be like, Do you want to respond to the super predators?
We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming to have
that's a big moment.
Something that
And Biden reacted to it.
The cleanest water. He hadn't done a damn thing with the environment. He pulled out of the Paris Peace Accord, Climate Accord. I immediately
what do these mean? An agreement? A Paris Climate Accord? What does that actually mean?
It is. Again, no talking point, though.
I said we'll
do it. He didn't do a damn thing about it. He must undo all that I've done.
The Paris Accord was going to cost us $1 trillion. And China
that doesn't look
Russia,
good.
Nothing, and India nothing. It was a ripoff of the United States.
Look at him,
And I ended it because I didn't want to waste that money because they treat us horribly.
What I don't understand is this is already a debate point. Like, there's no reason to bring this up.
It was a disaster.
Because they've already had this conversation before. Everyone already knows.
In
2020, the stances haven't changed.
I got the insulin down for the seniors. I took care of the seniors.
Good, he hit that. He did the Insulin Act.
All of our medical programs.
Because Biden took credit for the Insulin Act.
They
4 years later.
Everybody, and look, I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you that. And I want to take.
By the way, thank you for everyone watching. Thank you for everyone on YouTube, Facebook,
schools,
Twitter. We kind of hijacked our whole show. What we were going to talk about, what the other things are, and we just decided to tune in. Take the chance that YouTube doesn't give a shit about us and is going to let us go. But I mean,
we in fact,
it's too funny not to watch live. This has been good comedy.
We're not members of the Paris Accord. How can we do anything? We're not able to. The United States can't get this pollution under control.
Oh my
One
God,
of the largest polluters in the world. Number one, we're making significant progress. By 2035, we will have cut pollution in half. We have made. We're
one of the largest polluters in the world, but we're probably the most conscious.
We set up a climate.
Also in the world about trying to mitigate our pollution.
Learn how to
and we always have it.
Just like the Peace Corps. And we're moving in directions that are going to significantly change the elements of cause of pollution.
The fuck
but
is he
the
talking
idea
about?
that he claims that he has the biggest heart up here and he's really concerned about
that fucking hurt him. I don't know why he wants to care very much about that.
Climate. I've not seen any indication of that. And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for, voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world.
Oh, so he was a dictator. He's proud that while Trump,
by the way,
tried to use the bully pulpit to pressure them like he's supposed to do, they cut him off. That's awesome. Tried to put the bully pulpit.
Older Americans,
Biden just bragged about being a dictator. Now, can we talk about that? Like he was
nothing is done to Social Security. Seniors will see
if you're
their
looking at the
benefits
person that's like, who respects freedom and democracy? Trump tried to use the bully pulpit. Say that
one specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social Security solvent.
Yes, make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
Make the that's this one.
Everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck from the time.
Why is he so mad?
They get when they're 18 years old.
He really looks,
he's focusing.
He really looks like that one guy that just like has
he looks like Jim Jeff
1%.
Dunham.
So no
I don't know why I want to say Dahmer, and I didn't want to fucking say it because I didn't want to slander
him.
Jeffrey Dunham, thank you. Thank you for remembering.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Dunham's puppet.
He does. He kind of looks like that. Or you could definitely put him up there with the Muppets. With the two angry men up there. He could be one of them.
Any other measures that you think that would be able to help
keep Social
Security solvent, or is that one enough?
Well, no, that one is solvent.
Trump's Ernie.
Will do it.
And invited Bert. Hey, Bert, what are we going to do today, Bert?
He thinks there's plenty to cut in Social Security. He's wanting to cut Social
You're not
Security
gay for each other. Didn't Sesame Street confirm that they were gay?
And if you
unnecessarily
I don't think so. They're best friends.
Republican caucus that he, I believe, supports is in fact
I rejected it.
Cut it as well. The idea that
that's
we
good
don't
research.
need to protect ourselves is ridiculous. And by the way, American public health care coverage today.
You're playing a drinking game, and you have to drink for. By the way, you're dead.
You're in a circumstance where 400,000 people, 40 million people would not have insurance because they have a pre-existing condition. The only thing that allows them to have that insurance is the fact that they, in fact, are part of the ACA. And by the way, the other thing we're in a situation.
Only thing that Trump really had a problem with the ACA was the mandatory penalties for not having, and Trump helped get rid of that. I think Trump was actually like cool with the good, like the 25-year-old thing and some of like the pre-existing conditions. I'm pretty sure. No, I think Trump was fine with like the pre-existing conditions not being able to offer that. Like there's certain things that
politicians all my life. I've been on this side of the equation for the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy.
That's the most amount of drag queens get my vote.
Look you in the face. So, so many other things too.
Honestly, actually, that might be a toss-up, to be quite honest.
What is it?
Ukraine.
You know what Nate G said in the comment section? Whoever knows the most amount of drag queens gets my vote.
Disinformation.
Who knows?
It might be a toss-up. Trump was around New York a lot.
Trump was a New York mogul. You have no idea the drag queen scene in the Northeast, and especially in New York City.
They're putting him on.
I don't know the scene, but I would just say there's a lot.
Putting him in our hospitals.
I mean, they were probably real drag queens when he was there, not trans people pretending to be drag queens. There's a huge difference between a trans person and a drag queen. I will put that out there. Yeah, I think it's definitely Trump. So cool. Nate, you're voting for Trump. I like it.
And
thanks for watching. As always, Nate, we appreciate you.
I've never seen such anger.
Show you up on screen for fun. There you go. Boom.
President Biden.
The idea that veterans are not being taken care of, I told you before. And by the way, when I said suckers and losers, he acknowledged after that he fired that general. That general got fired because he was the one who acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it. Number one. Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where
the suckers and losers thing.
Yeah, it did. Millions and millions, the way he talks about it.
Can we pull up
aliens are coming into the country and taking away our jobs. There's a reason why we have the fastest growing economy in the world. The reason why we have the most successful economy in the world. We're doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 he talked about.
Stop with the by the way. This is circle back all over again.
Economists, they all said
this is probably a way to keep them on.
This is Stocky circle back.
Inflation is going to increasingly go up. And by the way, worst president in history. 159 presidential scholars voted.
Oh my God, that stupid damn thing.
President Biden, thank you so much. Let's turn to the cost of childcare, which many American families struggle to afford. President Trump, both you and President Biden have tried to address this issue, but the average cost of child care in this country has risen to more than $11,000 a year per child. For many families, the cost of child care for 2 children is more than their rent. In your second term, what would you do to make child care more affordable?
Stop caring.
Just to go back, the general got fired because he was no good. And if he said that, that's why he made it up.
He needs to bring up the fact that said I didn't. If the guy, if he was one of the generals that lied to him about
the
Syria.
other thing is, he doesn't fire people. He never fired.
Yeah, it's actually against leftist doctrine to beat Trump. That's what it is. It's against leftist doctrine to beat Trump. Anything he does is against that.
Except go doing all of his policies because yours are fucking terrible, which Biden's been doing like all of his old policies and slowly bringing them back.
This guy hasn't fired anybody. He never fires. He should have fired every military man that was involved with that the Afghanistan horror show. The most embarrassing.
I want to thank everyone for sticking with us. We're definitely going long tonight. We'll be here until.
Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border?
It'll be fun.
That's allowed us.
For anybody listening that's going to be listening to this in the future, we're sorry. We're just kind of providing commentary. This is going to be a very useless audio podcast, but it'll go up.
That allowed our country to be destroyed. Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate. He is the worst president. He just said about me because I said it. But look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country. Now all of a sudden he's trying to get tough on the border. He came out with a nothing deal, and it reduced it a little bit, like this much. It's insignificant. He wants open borders. He wants our country to either be destroyed or he wants to pick up those people.
After watching this debate, if you had to choose between jumping off the Empire State Building or voting for Biden, which song would be played at your funeral?
Our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this rut. We probably won't have a country left anymore.
Who was tweeting for Joe Biden? 11 minutes ago,
by far.
Donald Trump decimated the U.S. economy. I hate when they do that.
The most admired country in the world. We're the United States of America.
Keep up kayfabe.
There's nothing beyond our capacity.
He is
the finest military in the history of the world. The finest in the history of the world.
Oh my God! Please bring up the fact that they can't hit their quotas and that trans people are taking over.
Number two, the idea
that line would hold a lot more weight if he was actually patriotic his whole entire campaign, his whole entire presidency. It would hold a lot more weight.
The exact number. Presidential historians. They had meetings.
This stupid presidential historians thing, dude. What are you doing?
best.
I mean,
no one cares.
No one cares. They have conjecture, right? This is an opinion.
That's not conjecture. It's wrong, but that's what they voted. The idea that he is knowing
talking to you.
anything to do.
You're talking to me. It's a fact that they voted that way.
Virtually nothing.
Not like there's no like.
We should significantly increase the child care tax credit. We should significantly increase the availability of women and men or single parents to be able to go back to work. And we should encourage businesses to have.
Thank you, President Biden.
Facilities.
President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make child care affordable, if you want to take your minute.
Just so you understand, we have polling, we have other things that they rate him the worst because what he's done is so bad. And they rate me, I will show you, and they rate me one of the best, okay? And if I'm
I don't know if that's true because everyone hates him, but I just
be
love
the
Trump.
best. I think I'll be the best. Nobody's
I just love Trump. He's always the fucking
created
best.
an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to expire.
What are men and women, Nate? I don't know. Honestly, I'm not a biologist.
Nobody
so I don't know if I can answer that, Nate. I think you have to go ask your resident biologist. I hope you know a good biologist that can help you out with that one. The Supreme Court justice doesn't need to know that either to get on.
Money back into our country.
Nate, I can't help you with that one.
The worst president in history by far, and everybody knows it.
President Biden?
Look, the fact of the matter is that he's dead.
This is actually one of the dumbest fucking lines that we've ever seen.
Yeah, this is ridiculous right now.
And honestly, Dana and Jake should take control and just be like, "This is dumb, guys."
Yeah, there's no reason. Like, get to the next question. Get to something else.
I did.
Who's the best president? You're the worst. No, you're the worst. No, you're the worst.
In the country.
Oh, those eyes! Prozac eyes! Oh my god!
That's going to cost the average American
Those are crazy.
$2,500 a year more because they're going to have to pay the difference
10,
in food,
11,
and all the things that
12,
are important.
13. Oh,
Two.
there you go. You look
He's
down.
in a
It's almost
situation
13
where
seconds. Open
he
eyes.
talks about how he is not raised.
He doesn't have any tear ducts. Whatever drugs he's on takes away his tear ducts. He keep them open forever.
Middle class have been devastated by you. Now you want a new tax cut of $5 trillion over the next 10 years, which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country.
The crazy thing is,
deficit of any president in American history.
How do they claim that tax cuts decimate?
You have not, in fact, made any
cutting the only thing that decimates is the
China
offers that the government may have, and if it even doesn't do that
since 2010.
It's like
the
claim of tax cuts hurting anybody is
discuss an epidemic impacting millions of Americans. Both of you have made a top priority in your first term the opioid crisis, and for both of you, the number of overdose deaths in this country has gone up. Under your term, it went up. Under your term, it has gone up. Former President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have made,
I mean, if I'm Trump here, I'm talking about, well, they designed caravans to come in here, and those caravans overloaded our border, and they televised them with thousands.
Throes of addiction who are struggling with the treatment they need.
Yeah.
To finish up, we now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy. We have the largest deficit with China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China.
Yes.
So I think he's afraid to deal with them or something. But do you notice he never took out my tariffs because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I imposed on China. He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we saved our steel industries, and there was more to come.
Industries. I love the way Trump pronounces some things.
But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't. Because it's
he definitely deserves to be made fun of for some of his pronunciation.
Yo, 100%.
Everyone makes fun of China industries. Like, there's not even like a New York accent. I don't know what the fuck that is.
China's going to own us if you keep allowing them to do what they're doing.
I really hope like Don Jr. just morphs into him in like 20 years and has all of his mannerisms. Like, and like they all like Eric gets there, and then Barron eventually gets there. Even Ivanka like starts like having like Trumpisms. Like they all start eventually talking like this.
Addiction right now,
and like kind of
struggling to get the treatment they need.
Sometimes
we're doing very well at addiction until the COVID came along.
Freaking very well with freaking addiction.
2.5, almost 3 years of like nobody's ever had before. Any country in every way.
I mean,
and then we had to get
SNL was funny.
The drugs.
They would bring Mike Myers on to make Dr. Evil beat President Trump during a debate.
Started doing
maybe.
Great equipment. We bought the
Biden need Corn Pop more than ever. Oh, Corn Pop was a bad dude, Nate.
Corn Pop was a bad dude. Listen, I love the conspiracy theory that Corn Pop was just trying to get him to not diddle kids at the pool.
Then he came along. Have you seen the numbers?
Corn Pop saw him letting kids rub his fucking leg.
Corn Pop was like, stop having those kids rub your leg.
Corn Pop's actually a hero.
Yeah.
But the numbers.
Can we get a shirt that says Corn Pop's actually a hero?
And human trafficking in women.
Probably is one.
Human trafficking.
Across our border. The worst thing I've ever seen. at numbers that nobody's
Where's
ever
AOC
seen
crying
under him
about
because
that,
the
right?
border's so bad. But the number of drugs coming across our border now is the largest we've ever had by far.
President Trump, thank you. President Biden?
Fentanyl and the byproducts of fentanyl went down for a while. And I wanted to make sure we use the machines.
Because of COVID, you fucking asshole.
Big machines that roll over.
No one was doing anything.
And it costs a lot of money.
This guy's really taking credit for the fact that a virus shut down the world and fentanyl wasn't flowing through that. Great job, Joe.
Country shut down the world.
More numbers of,
That's true.
agents, more numbers of all the people at the border. And when we had that deal done, he called his Republican colleague, said, don't do it. It's going to hurt me.
Don't do it. He brought up, don't do it.
It's not a good bill. It's a really good bill.
Do it.
So he brought up the stupid border bill that they had.
They're coming down very hard.
Yeah, the one that, I wanted to get the border. All he was going to do was say 25K can come in, or 250, 2,500 can come in fucking daily. That was, or whatever it was, monthly. It was going to be something like that. He was going to allow
again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now struggling to get the treatment they need.
Please answer.
Because this does pertain to it. He ended Remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so many things that we had done. Hard negotiations with Mexico, and I got it all for nothing.
In Mexico?
It's just like when you have a hostage. We always pay $6 billion for a hostage. Every time we say there's a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter. Mm-hmm. I think a good guy. And he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars.
Probably,
for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly as soon as I take office.
Is he going to bring up Ross Ulbricht again and try and get the libertarians on there, saying he's going to
as soon as I win the
Ross?
election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago, but Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays it every time.
He really is, Dr.
We had two cases.
Billions and billions. He needs to do the finger when he says it.
I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
Let's turn to concerns that voters have about each of you.
Honestly,
President Biden,
you're unhappy.
You would be 86 at the end of your second term.
He's not going to get there. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit. They're actually going to ask the age question. Good.
To handle the toughest job.
Good. For both of them, they should ask this question.
Absolutely. He can't do it now.
Well, I spent half my career being criticized being the youngest person in politics.
God,
I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States Senate. And now I'm the oldest. This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent. I think that this.
I mean, I don't think that holds true right now. Like, you can't say that with this debate performance.
Said 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturers.
Oh my God, he actually said the 15 million new jobs.
Yeah, but
billions of dollars in private investment.
You mean Milli Vanilli?
We are growing.
Oh my God,
brought an awful lot of people.
I wonder if 2K has her having like LeBron James comes back.
40% of the market. We invented those chips.
I highly doubt it.
And we lost it
because they invented rim grazer for her. Basically,
find the cheapest jobs overseas and then bring home a product. So I went to South Korea.
Once again, thank you for everyone watching. We appreciate all of you on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, watching the debate with us.
He deflected and went to things, which honestly, that's probably all I can really do. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, how do you answer this question? If you're him, especially after his debate.
If you're him, you can. If you're Trump, all you got to say is, hey, I go to rallies all the time when I'm not being caught up in court by this guy in the Banana Republic.
Americans all over the
I mean,
that would not spell.
They have a whole WNBA mode.
40 seconds.
They had to put the WNBA into NBA 2K because nobody would buy WNBA.
Somehow,
but it's such a great league and it's getting record sales. By the way, I want to bring that up. It's not fucking happening. Okay, they're not getting record watches. They're counting scroll buys. I guarantee they're counting scroll buys as a watch. And I'm sorry, I don't care about Caitlin Clark. I don't care about Angel Reese. I still don't want to see really good layups and chest threes from 30 feet. That doesn't bother me. Honestly, like, I don't give a fuck about the WNBA. No one should. It is a boring product. In person, women's basketball is not bad. I used to like watching the Maris women. Pros are probably much better because people look quicker in person.
They don't want
on TV. I'd rather watch fucking
President Trump to
Freighters,
follow up,
okay? Because they do the same amount of shots
at the end of your second term. What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I ate both of them, as you know.
Jesus Christ.
What is a cognitive? Like, I want to see what they are.
Just one, a real easy one. Like, go through the first 5 questions. You couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams.
Yeah, they have WNBA and 2K now.
Yeah, they do. It's in there. It's in 2K.
Very good health.
And like they tried. I think you can play like the women versus men in All Star 2, and they like not sure.
To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it.
Golf.
He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter.
His answer, why are you better in your age? Joe sucks at golf.
Years ago, I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced them. Dr. Ronnie Jackson.
The best cognitive test taker of all time.
Doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they'd never seen anybody ace him.
Oh, my.
Thank you.
I've never seen anybody ace him. He's fucking insane, dude.
And only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200.
I never said
well, anyway, let's take a look at what he said.
I mean, that's what I think his police thing said he was 215.
Look, I'd be happy to have this with him. The reason I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6.
Oh my God, they're actually just talking about golf right now.
By the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag.
If you carry your own bag?
That's the biggest lie, that he's a 6 handicap of all.
What's that?
8 handicap.
This is actually better than most of the debate.
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
President Trump.
This is fantastic.
Specific concern.
You're arguing about golf.
Have about you. Will you pledge tonight that all legal challenges have been exhausted? That
People hate old white men. This is
election, regardless
This is the most old white man thing I've ever seen in my life.
You will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable.
Well, I shouldn't have to say that, but of course I believe that. It's totally unacceptable.
Oh, my God.
And if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement I made in the Rose Garden.
It's a dumpster fire, but it's a fire. It is fire.
In addition to
my
the
God,
speech
that was hilarious. They just argued about golf.
The largest crowd I've ever spoken to, and I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that.
God.
They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol.
Yeah, that's true. They don't.
In many cases,
we'll see if Biden will denounce Antifa.
And as Nancy Pelosi
that was probably
said,
the best
it was her responsibility,
banter
not mine.
that they had. They were actually probably friends there.
But the answer
for that banter.
The election is fair and free, and I want that more than anybody. And
I like there was the one guy who was like a wrestler and challenged a guy to a fight. I like that. I think Jim Pass was talking about that. They should settle issues by having like MMA matches in Congress. And that if you can't have an MMA match, then you can't be in there. Like that'd be great. Like watching Mitch McConnell get his get pushed in would be great. Because I hate that guy.
I don't mind being here, but the only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation.
He's going back to the 2015, 2016 stuff. The same shit he was saying.
His policies are so bad.
Did we have a second commercial break? Am I going crazy? Did I read that article wrong?
No, we didn't have a second one.
These are wars that will never end with him.
It's almost 90 minutes.
Yes, I'm saying. And we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine.
Mark Wayne Knoll. Yes, that was him.
World War III.
He's a fucking
and he's driving us there. And
you're here. You said you'd fight me. Let's go. And they shouldn't let it happen.
Kim Jong-un of North Korea.
And I hate the fake decorum and those things.
Representative, that is not appropriate.
They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
You want a World War III? Let him follow and win, and let Putin say, "Do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want." There's a thing called Article 5. An attack on one is attack on all.
Yeah, but he's trying to get Ukraine to join it. He wants World War III.
The idea. I can't think of a single major leader in the world who wouldn't trade places with the job I've done and what they've done. Because we are a powerful nation.
The hell does that even mean? What is he saying?
Such a weird statement. They're capable of anything.
There's not a single world leader in the world that wouldn't trade with my places.
What? The thing is, like that thing about the American people would hit harder if he actually was patriotic during his presidency. But he hasn't been. He just hasn't been patriotic, hasn't been unifier, hasn't been anything of that. So it doesn't hit well.
The thing is, he has his record of calling out 75 million people.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was,
curious if we're going to get final questions soon.
The results of this election,
he said he would,
regardless of who wins.
Just to finish what he said.
Maybe he didn't say,
Russia.
I'll give her that.
They took a lot of land from Bush. They took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump. Nothing. He knew nothing.
From Trump in third person.
I love third person Trump.
He knew
like
that. I got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me. But now he's going to take the whole thing.
That's a good idea.
Right here.
A world leader golf match.
That's a war that should have never
do like
started.
a world leader golf
started ever.
Where they just
world leader.
And he's going to take Ukraine.
That'd be awesome.
And, you asked me a question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia.
Okay.
Because Ukraine's not winning.
That's fine. Let's just answer the question and Trump. You're good here. You don't need to keep going.
They've lost so many people.
He's hammering it home.
He's hammering home, but
and they've lost those
we've gone over it.
With the golden.
I would honestly,
years old,
I would like
all because of him and stupid decisions. Russia would have never attacked.
This is the good thing, honestly. This not interrupting benefited Biden because Trump had interrupted Biden so much last of those debates.
It benefited both.
Legal and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted.
I was listening to Jimcast yesterday, and they were saying that Trump should just goad him when his mic's off.
If you want
feel like you're a bitch, you're a terrible father. Just get him to get angry.
Absolutely. There's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country. I would be very happy to be someplace else in a nice location someplace.
I mean, that's an interesting statement that he has.
That's an
no political opponent stuff.
Well, here's the thing.
It's the only way he thinks he can win.
It's more real than it ever was, right? Because he was president already. He doesn't have to come back.
Because the people
obviously his ego is always going to make him come back, right?
What your numbers are.
You really could just go sit in Mar-a-Lago and just do fucking nothing.
You're a whiner. When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country.
I mean, that's
one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit.
I mean,
or local.
Trump should come back and be like, they have been coming back left and right over the past 3 years, saying that there's been absolute abnormalities in Arizona.
All this
they've come back
evidence of that at all. And I tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept
Biden's
it because
completely
you're
off
such
base
a
here.
The idea, if you lose again, you accepting anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
Talking about losing Biden, you lost 3 times.
With more from the CNN.
I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be closing right after.
It's got to be closing statements right after.
Yeah.
I wonder. Hold on. Look closely. Can we see any staffers rushing on? Damn it, they want to wait.
I would say
they have the studio there on the side, so I guess they're like showing you.
I would say that was probably. I mean, it was a bit better for Biden there. He didn't look as old as he did in the first part, but he still looked bad.
This second round, he still looked bad. He didn't have the gaffes up. I haven't like in the beginning, he had
a couple.
Like,
still had a couple.
But you know what though? The gaffes he had were a little more reasonable for somebody talking long times. Right? No, Trump is an exceptional speaker, which makes people look worse. Trump's very good at public speaking. Like it's kind of similar. Like Obama was really good at public speaking. Like they can go without a lot of like stutters and a lot of like things. Like I feel like Biden had a kind of more normal performance where catching his thoughts kind of sometimes like slowed him up. But he was
The biggest issue that is happening right now, and the reason why Trump is winning the debate is Trump is actually pulling Biden into everything that Trump wants to talk about, which is insane. Yep. Something that you would never want to happen to your candidate, but it like just that golf debate shows it. He did it with the biggest heart on stage thing, and he did it with the golf debate, which is dumb as hell, was hilarious to watch. But he's pulling Biden into anything, literally anything that he wants to talk about. So because Biden has no damn reason to talk about his handicap, but Trump is pulling him into it and making it all just an absolute mockery.
This might be the tweet of the night. Daniel Dale, who is one of the biggest bitches and constantly fact check Trump, cannot fact check this golf exchange.
That's a pretty good one.
Daniel Dale, well done. Well done, Daniel Dale. You're pretty terrible at your job, but overall, well done with that one. Because, that golf exchange is great. But you know what, though? It's like, people are going to sit there, and the thing is, too, they're going to sit there and be like, this is why I don't like politics, because they're just arguing about this. And it's like, I'd rather see them sometimes go into shit like this because it shows that they're real people a little bit, right? Like, I get it. You want to hear, like, the hard-hitting stuff. And honestly, again, I don't like Jake Tapper. I don't like Dana Bash, but they've been pretty good about keeping on top.
They've done well. I would say they've done well. I obviously they had questions that we wouldn't ask.
No.
For some of those, like the climate one and everything like that. But at least if we would, we'd ask about nuclear. But I would say they've done well. They haven't really, honestly, they actually probably cut off Biden more than they have Trump.
And on top of that, they're not being douchebags about them not answering the questions. They ask a second time.
Yeah.
If they don't want to answer it a second time, okay, move on. They're not like where we've seen other ones try and make it and be very confrontational with Trump specifically. To try and be like, answer the question. Like, no, okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to ask you the question again. They don't answer it. Okay, President Biden, your turn. And they've been like,
I would say they've been pretty good.
Credit is due.
Expectations on Tapper were low. That is very true. That is true. The expectations were low, but I'm still going to give them credit for being better than what we expect them to be.
They were better than Chris Wallace already. They've been better than CNN's been in the past. They were better than Megyn Kelly. Honestly,
like you said, it may be because of the setup. It may be because of how it's done, but it is better than we've seen.
Neither of them are flustered because they can also sit there, and I feel like
they did look a little sad about how Biden's doing. I'm not going to lie; they looked a little morose.
Definitely a little morose, but also I just believe too, like
predetermined by a coin toss. We're going to begin with you, President.
I guess
Biden,
these are the
you have
things.
2 minutes.
Okay, let's see what Biden has to say here.
We've made significant progress from the debacle, though, by President Trump in his last term. We find ourselves in a situation where
see if you can talk for 2 minutes straight.
We have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience or anyone out watching this debate, do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said nobody even making under $400,000 had a single penny increase in their taxes and will not. And if I'm real,
I mean, you're just putting 87,000 IRS agents to come out and fuck with everyone.
Taxes because of the deficit. Number one, he's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after.
He's not president.
He handled the pandemic.
Biden's doing his final thing as if Trump's the president. He's trying to beat Trump to the presidency again.
Comes into the United States of America.
He's like, this is acting as if Trump is in charge.
Well, for example, he wants to get away with, get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the pharma companies.
That was bad.
You got through it. You got through it better than I thought he would.
I thought he was done. He's struggling right now.
For insulin instead of $400, no more than $2,000.
No Hitler bombs or PP tapes yet.
No matter what,
I mean,
how much
think Biden's team probably told him that's not going to work.
That reduced the fact
and that I think Tapper's trying to avoid it because he's called him Hitler enough.
Over 10 years.
I think they're trying here with that one.
Prices. I'm going to make that available to every.
Biden looks awful. This is the worst I've seen him all night.
He's
trying his closing, and I mean,
everybody in America.
He's not.
Get rid of that.
He doesn't have a lot of argument here.
Sure
that's the issue. When the economy's this bad, you're not going to have much to go with.
I'm going to make sure we do something.
He's not even saying it. He can't even say it.
Lead pipes and all the things that are causing health problems.
I want another better calf care, though.
We're going to continue to fight to bring down inflation.
Hasn't brought up cancer.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
See.
Like so many politicians, he's just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do. All he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to go. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah.
I mean, these are simple things to hit on.
Whatsoever.
He's on the right thing. Maybe hanging on Iran a little bit too much.
He talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it for 3.5 years.
But I mean, that definitely
we have
should have hit the
Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville.
Should have hit the cannibalized Uncle Harvey. Yes, he should have.
1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you, because they don't respect you.
It's 100 times
Charlottesville. Respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest.
He didn't mention crossing the DMZ alone. If he did earlier, I don't remember it, but like,
yeah, we might have missed it.
But he certainly should have brought up, like, I walked across one of the most dangerous areas. We are still at war with this country. We're only in a ceasefire with North Korea. Not entered in.
Space age materials.
People realize how big that is. The fact that we're still at war with North Korea.
When you're
only a ceasefire.
Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible choice for our soldiers. Where our soldiers,
I wonder if they're going to cut him off
for 3 months.
I feel like he's nowhere near finishing.
Can go out and get themselves fixed up and ready
they're going to let him go.
Take care of themselves.
I mean, they've been fair.
That's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA.
I feel like if you look at time, they've been
these
pretty
things.
fair.
We're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden. Stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate. Anderson Cooper, Aaron Burnett. Start.
Get out of here
now.
Okay.
On CNN.
Get out of here with that, so we can. So we'll. So Dave, what are your thoughts on the debate?
I thought it was terrible for Biden. Absolutely awful for Biden. He looked his age. He's been showing. There's no cheap fake about this one. And nothing good happened for Biden there, really. And yeah, Trump was on tonight. He really was. He was surprisingly. What is happening? Oh, I'm sorry. I have it still open in my tab. I started hearing that. But yeah, Trump was on tonight. He was surprisingly disciplined, but also Trump. It was a really good performance, one we haven't seen in a while, which I'm honestly surprised about. They both ducked the age question, which is not surprising.
That's fine.
They're going to both.
They argued about golf.
They're both.
You know what? Honestly, that was the best thing that
was the age question right there.
That was beautiful. They argued about fucking golf.
Yeah, it was so dumb.
It's exactly what two old, rich white men probably would do when asked about how you doing with your age. I can still swing a golf club. Like that's pretty on par.
Yeah, but I mean, what are you going to do? They both are way too old, to be quite honest. Trump does have the energy, but how long does it last? 1 year could mean a lot. So they're both way too damn old. But Trump looked great. Wildly, he looked like I said, a lot better than I thought he might, because he hasn't been exactly the greatest on the debate stage recently.
No,
but yeah, that was fucking good by him. And Biden really just hung himself. It was bad. It would have been better if Trump was allowed to interrupt too much, because like in 2020, Trump interrupted too much, made things worse.
Yeah.
This time he wasn't able to. So Biden was just out there stammering, looking old. And it actually just hindered him a lot.
And honestly, it was Trump was much more calculated than we've seen him in a long time. Yeah. And he was able to, and I think honestly, not interrupting benefited him. Because you saw him bite his tongue a few times, and then he was able to think of his rebuttal. And his rebuttals were good. That smirk, oh my God. Yeah. The rebuttals were good. I thought he stayed on topic and hit Biden and was sometimes hit him multiple times at the same thing on his weakest points. Yeah. Now, when it comes to Biden was awful. And the Democrats can't go forward with him. You can't go forward with him. Like, you absolutely.
I think they're going to at this point. But if there was a way to get out of it, it was tonight. If there is a way to get out of it, it's like, oh man, we all saw that one, didn't we?
And it's like the biggest value is he survived and he was cogent. Like, he answered every question. He was on topic. Like, he rambled sometimes. He stuttered. He made up some shit.
He lost it. I would say more like the first half, which is wild, but the first half he was more off key and off balance, and he was in the second half. And maybe we might have missed some things, because I might look through Twitter and see a lot of shit that we missed, but it seemed like he was a little more in focus in the second half.
Maybe Trump making fun of him made him kind of like perk up.
It might have perked him up.
He's not going to let me get off, and he's a fucking dickhead. So I think that maybe that like woke him up. Like, I'm not going to get off easy here like I normally do.
Hell, dog, cracking your knuckles right now, dog. If Nate, I'm telling you right now, if we got Hillary versus Biden again, that would be one of the funniest fucking things. It might not be great for our country. Hillary versus Trump. I'm Biden right now. That's my bad. But Hillary versus Trump again, that'd be incredible. That'd be so fucking funny.
I mean, Hillary's probably their worst option. Honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
You go with Gavin Newsom over Hillary. Gavin Newsom's a terrible option. So it's like, I don't know. You don't do Hillary, even though Hillary makes it seem like she's been trying to get in there. And
no, she has.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is if they come in and they'd say like Hillary Kamala, the first ever women ticket, you'd be double bigoted. If that wouldn't work for that.
Hillary and Kamala, both of their laughs.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Look, honestly,
that's torture.
I may actually vote for that. I would just sit there, and I would only want them they would have to have a cackle off once a month.
Want to watch the world burn?
They would have a cackle off once a month, just, like once a month. Like we would need it. I want that now, please. Hillary run. I will vote for Hillary. I will vote for Hillary if she runs with Kamala. It has to be with Kamala. Big Mike.
Yeah, Big Mike is. If they are going to replace Biden, Big Mike might be the most plausible option of getting them to win. Whether or not she wants it, whether or not. But yeah, that. I don't think they're going to pull him. I've been persuaded into them not pulling him. But like I said, if there's any reason, tonight's a good reason.
If they don't pull him, then I feel like my conspiracy theory about them really focusing on the House and Senate to impeach and remove Trump, not just impeach him, but impeach and remove him, I think becomes more plausible. Because there's nothing else. Because you're going to, especially after this debate, of course, you're going to make it look like it. You're going to try and spend the money because it's a presidential debate, right? But they're not going to actually try. If they're going to keep Biden, you can't try. It's a waste of resources to actually try and get this man voted in again. Like, you have to, number one, cheat. They will go into cheat mode again. And we're going to see it. Right now, especially after this debate, anyone who's a conservative journalist, get your ear to the ground on leftist AGs in swing states. A lot of the same things, judges that are leftists that could be swayed, and start looking now about the kind of things that they are trying to do for this election, because they are going to try to think of something else. David loves a Hawk Tuah girl. I think you're so tired of Hawk Tuah.
Oh my God, I am tired of Hawk Tuah. The meme was all right first. She's completely correct. I think she's fine. Like, she's completely correct in that statement. That her joke was funny at the time, but just the repetitiveness. I don't think it's that good of a meme to get it that much.
I do like, and it's getting overused, but I won't talk to her unless you Hawk Tuah. Like, I do like that one.
That's all right. That's pretty
people
good.
Are using it, but it's the Democrats are in trouble. Now we'll see. I think Trump's VP pick wasn't locked. I think it was depending on how the debate went tonight.
Maybe.
I think he was trying to see, do I really need somebody? Like, does Biden do well enough to kind of push that needle back, right? Because all the Democrats need is a pulse, and they're going to vote for him, right? Because it's anyone but Trump type of thing. They didn't get a pulse tonight. They didn't. They got a flicker and Prozac eyes. That's all they got. And I think it's going to depend on that. Like, I think Ben Carson might have more of an in, because I think Trump sees, I don't need a bombastic person.
Yeah, like I don't need Vivek. I don't need Vivek.
I don't need JD Vance. I don't need these individuals that are going to be fiery with me. I need somebody who could just stay on course.
Yeah, I do want to say Young Turks are losing it right now over the performance.
I mean, if I'm Cenk Uygur right now, I am going, how did I lose to that guy? And if you're a leftist right now and you're looking at that, you should be kicking yourself for not voting for Cenk Uygur, because Cenk Uygur would have been a significantly better option to put on that debate stage. Now he's a psycho, and Trump would have just laughed at him half the time.
According to Pastor Daryl Scott, CNN on post debate analysis saying in a nutshell that Joe got his ass whooped in the debate.
What else can you say?
I mean, we've seen him spin a lot of things, so it wouldn't have been surprising if they'd really tried to defend the way he did tonight. But yeah, it's been rough. It's been absolutely rough.
I mean, it's just they can't defend it. They can't. And I would love to see what Rachel Maddow and Joy Reid are saying right now. Yeah. They're going to go some sort of racist route or a sexist route. And the thing is, though, Trump was safe. Trump didn't say anything that could be even construed as bigoted tonight, really. And he usually gets one or two. But so Vivek needs to be in the cabinet, actually have some power.
He might be. He might be. I agree, but I think he might be, because he's been really in touch with the Trump camp.
I kind of like the Rand Paul move. If you want to pull in the libertarians and guarantee you get that group, and guarantee you get the people that hate Fauci, there you go. There you go. You pull in Rand, and Rand has never been like fully like. I don't think I've ever truly heard him disparage Trump. Maybe disagreed with him. But
putting the Trump wig back.
It's the Hillary wig. Thank you very much. Oh my God. I thought her show was getting canceled.
I don't know, man. I don't know what happens over there.
Like MSLSD, they really are on it if they keep that woman on. Like, what are we doing here? But anyway, that was
been a long one. I hope Nate, since you've been active, I hope you enjoyed this coverage of the debate. Everyone else who has been watching or has watched, I hope they enjoyed as well.
Yes, we we appreciate everyone on X, Facebook, YouTube. Once again, for the audio people, we're sorry. We just kind of responded, and I thought we had some good banter and good commentary, but we were just kind of responding to what was going on. We'll see if we ever get our first strike ever, and we'll see if we're back next week. If we are back, if we are not, we apologize to our guest ahead of time. Who is it gonna? It was gonna be it's gonna be someone that would have been relevant to this. So we'll see if we're there. I'm not even gonna talk about it, but Nate, we love you. Thank you for jumping in. We love that you love the show, and start telling your friends to watch too. Have some watch parties. Let's do it. Make it fun. Make it weird. Let's do that. So make it weird. Make it weird. We make it weird here all the time. But yeah. So thank you for everyone for watching. We did something different today. We were going to go the route. We were going to talk about our buddy Stuttering Craig trying to become the editor-in-chief at Kotaku. And
we'll get to this.
Yeah, we'll bring it up. Maybe we'll do a special episode at some point, Dave, and we'll talk about something. Mikal Bridges trade with the Nets and Knicks, and I was going to wallow, but this debate, David was having too many funny reactions in the beginning to not just go to it.
You can't blame me. You can't blame me. You watched it.
The first thing, I can't wait to watch this back because the first thing we get is just Biden like, yeah. That was the first thing we go into is Biden with the fucking stupid face. So it was like, it was a perfect moment to jump in. And Dave, in the end, I think my final thing is, I think this went about as everyone expected it to go. And I think it went worse. And a little bit
worse. I think it went worse than people expected to go.
Because I think people thought that Biden was going to be hopped up on so much that he was going to just be more competent.
Yeah, he would still look lost, but like not as lost as he did tonight. That's my thing.
And the thing is, and I will say this, Trump being a dick makes Biden focus. So Trump being there helped Biden a few times because when Biden gets pissed is the only time he can actually focus. So like Trump calling him out and basically saying like he sucks at everything. And the most coherent Biden was about golf. That was great. And I'm not gonna I'm gonna hang on that. That was honestly golden.
Yeah.
Golden. Like people are gonna get mad at that golf.
Might have to clip that out. That reaction.
That's fantastic. Right. But yeah, overall, thank you everyone for watching. We appreciate it. We are an hour and 42 minutes long. Probably one of our longest shows we've ever done. But we appreciate everyone for watching. We'll be back next week. If you like what you watched, please subscribe on YouTube. Repost and follow on X. If you're on Facebook, give us a follow there. Mm-hmm. Spread the show word of mouth. We'll be back with a guest next week. We're gonna have a good time there. And Biden,
enjoy.
Done.